So this is the Department of Transportation building in Ankeny, and from the outside it looks pretty nondescript like any other office building or state government building. But it's what's inside here that's really, really cool and can be a useful tool to you as you're trying to navigate the roads here in Iowa. All right, we are now coming to you from the Traffic Management Center in the DOT building in Ankeny, and I am joined by Scott and Bonnie, and they're going to give us kind of the lowdown on what actually happens here in the brain, so to speak. As you can see, lots of different images on the background here. So Scott, give us a little insight into where we actually are here.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Well, first, thank you for being here. Welcome to the Traffic Management Center. This is kind of our eyes and ears. We're in the basement of the Ankeny building, the Ankeny DOT building in Ankeny. And what this center is about is keeping people safe and keeping traffic moving. That's really why we're here. There's a lot of technology flowing through here, thousands of data points every single day. We have almost 400 cameras on the system, and really we use those as well as many other tools really to keep an eye and monitor the system, what's going on, and then when there are incidents on the system, we respond as quickly as we can. One of the things that we know about in Iowa, especially as we look at the data that's coming through, is every minute counts, as we say down here. So there's a statistic we like to quote, which is 2.8%. For every minute that an incident continues, the likelihood of a secondary crash increases by 2.8% per minute. What that means is we need to be clearing all these incidents and crashes within about 20 to 30 minutes on average so that we can really keep people safe and keep traffic moving.
Yeah, and you can obviously see in these monitors with all these cameras over, you can really tell quickly if there's going to be a problem.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm going to ask Bonnie, if I may, to talk about some of our technology that you see behind here.
Okay. So thank you, Scott. As you see, as Scott said, we have over 400 cameras statewide. We're using those to monitor the interstate systems in the major metro areas. We're looking for anything that's going to affect traffic, and that could be a stalled vehicle, a piece of debris, a crash, anything that's affecting traffic that we need to respond to. We have dynamic message boards, those are the boards you see up on the interstate with the messages. All of those are controlled from our center, so anytime that we see anything that's going to affect traffic, we get a message up to the public as soon as possible through that route. We also use our 511 system that also puts information out to the public as well. All of our cameras are able to move. We can control those from the center, and so we're constantly moving cameras looking for anything that we need to find for detection. We have a lot of detection methods here in the TMC. And so cameras being one of them, we also have INREX data that shows when we have slowdowns on the interstate. So right here behind you, we have what we call our operational portal, where you see up at the top active bottlenecks. That's actually coming from probe data through INREX. And INREX is a service that we've purchased, and it allows us to monitor our interstate system very closely. And so you can see right now that we have 25-mile-an-hour speeds reported on Interstate 235 around the 0-mile marker. And that's Liberty. And so we have an active crash on I-380 and one on US 30. And so we use this for not only detection but monitoring and keeping track of what we're trying to do here in the TMC. We're also looking at road conditions. We dispatch all of our highway helper services from here. We have 3 services for the highway helpers. We have Cedar Rapids, Council Bluffs, and then the Des Moines metro area. We have 2 trucks running Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then we do a lot of special events. So for instance, we have the state wrestling meet coming up this weekend. We'll have highway helpers running on Saturday for that event as well, because there'll be a lot of people in town for that, so we want to make sure that we're meeting their needs as well.
Now, how quickly can you respond? Obviously, it was just last week, so that we saw the major crash happen on I-35 with the big pileup. How quickly can you use this technology to help respond to something like that, and then work with other law enforcement agencies in the process to make sure that you can keep, again, the risk of a secondary crash, even though there were lots of secondary crashes involved in that one, but how quickly can you do that?
So we actually saw on camera as that started to occur. And so we instantly started looking at the area, looking at the last DMS sign. So it was the southbound. So we had dynamic message boards just past 13th Street. So we started to get those message boards up to keep anybody from entering the area. The last thing we would want is to have more people come in and be involved in the crash or get stuck in the backup. And so protecting that the public coming into the area was our top priority right away. And so that happened within minutes, that we were able to get that information out. We started looking at detour routes. We started coordinating with our motor vehicle enforcement officers who were actually stationed in the building for the day. And we coordinated with Iowa State Patrol very quickly to get those officers up to the scene to help with the crash. And then in coordination with motor vehicle enforcement and Iowa State Patrol, we started looking at closing the northbound lanes, because what we were seeing is that responders needed the northbound lanes, and then traffic coming through that area was really, people were slowing down and people were not slowing down, and so we were very concerned about having a secondary crash in the northbound lane, so we very quickly got it closed as well. So there was a lot of coordination going on very quickly within minutes of the crash.
And you have a kind of eyes on the road, literally, with your snowplows now.
Yes.
With cameras on board. I've noticed that on 511ia.org, you can log on and actually see the videos coming in live from the plows and what those. Has that really helped you to understand even more at that micro level what the road conditions are like?
Absolutely, that has. We have 902 snow plows in the state, and many of them have these plow cameras, as we call them. And not only has it helped us have a sense of what we're seeing right in front of the plow, but it also, we hear comments a lot from the traveling public that it's really helped them to understand what the surface of the road may look like where they want to travel. So it's been very effective for that as well.
Absolutely. Well, lots to consider, obviously, and obviously lots of helpful tools so that people know that you're always keeping an eye on things and trying to make it as safe as a trip as possible.
Absolutely.
So, Scott and Bonnie, thank you for giving us insight into the Traffic Management Center here at the DOT.
Thank you.
All right, one of the very cool things that's happening statewide is that not only is this traffic management center in existence right now and they're monitoring things, but they're always looking further down the line and they're working with a lot of different organizations here at the DOT to make sure that happens. And I'm with Chief Lorenzen, and you're going to kind of tell us a little bit more about the TIM committee that's statewide. And what does TIM stand for?
Traffic Incident Management.
Okay, so Traffic Incident Management Committee, and you're working with a lot of different organizations. What are you doing, first of all, and who all are you partnering with?
That's correct. We've put together the state TIM committee. It's been about a year and a half or so. There's 14 different disciplines or organizations working together. Some of those include the towing industry, the fire service, EMS, various law enforcement associations represented, sheriff's associations, a lot of the peace officer associations represented. Anybody that has any activity on the system that may interact on a daily basis, or in a large incident like we saw last week in the Ames area. So we meet on a regular basis and determine some of our goals are to enhance quick clearance, how we can make the system more efficiently, safely. We're just unveiling some new parts of the Iowa crash report. We're going to be able to capture secondary crash data a little clearer, because we know we can do some things to mitigate that and bring those clearance times down, which will hopefully minimize the secondary crashes, which in most cases are more severe than the original crash.
So really you're looking at ways to be even more efficient, working together, getting input from those key stakeholders who are going to be responding and along with you, but they're going to be the first on the scene in dealing with these and making sure that the outcomes are as good as possible.
That's correct. In fact, if we just look at it from the law enforcement end, that's easy. We know how to do our thing, but we need to take into account what the towing folks have to do, what the fire folks, the EMS, all those different entities come into play, the highway folks, and all those things come together, and that's what traffic incident management is all about.
Their perspective matters and obviously has an impact on what happens here.
Absolutely.
Chief Lorenzen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
Thanks.